Alright, well, hello everyone. Welcome to this next Momo match. We are all set now, so we should be getting ready. I guess I'll introduce ourselves. I'm Matos Machine, and I'm commentating with...
Yeah, double. That's me. I'm here.
And so we're just gonna hop into this really quickly here.
Yeah. So for those unaware, this is Momodora Reverie on the Moonlight, fourth game in the series, but it's the first to use the subtitle like this. First three games were just called Momodora, and then Momodora 2 and 3. This is a Metroidvania. If you're familiar with that term. Exploration-based platformer where there's a lot of backtracking, and we'll see a bunch of that backtracking in this run as well.
Yeah, and we're gonna see just this is the first area, the roughest area for speedrunning too, because there's so many enemies. This is the Grove. We'll basically see the mostly just rolling, a few roll jumps here and there, which is just rolling and jumping at the same time. And yeah, we'll see who gets out of this area first.
Yeah, that's generally how we split up the game. Is just the major areas which will pop on screen the first time you enter them, and when you then transition from one major area to another, it will pop on screen again. And yeah, there was a small detour for the runners, but they went down, opened a chest, and that's them picking up money. You can see it in the top left of the screen. They both have 20 right now, because there's one item that we're going to buy later on. That it costs 80 money, so we're going to get all of that money in this area, because the next area after this is where we're going to be spending it.
Yep, need that 80 money right away, right after getting out of this area. We see some pretty good movement from both of them. Unfortunately, it looks like Ronwin's getting missed the early jump there, so just a little bit behind coming out of that save bell. And yeah, look at I'm actually looking at Azul's stream here, or she's doing really well. She's getting out of here at that's a really good time to get out of the Grove. So she looks like, as long as she gets through this room, which I mean, yeah, she did perfectly. She's gonna get out of the Grove here first, and now is gonna fight the first boss.
Yeah, but before the boss, hit the save bell, because there's a particular thing we need to do. So yeah, this is Adea, and yeah, the important thing here is don't get hit. We'll explain once the fight's over why that's important. Yeah, but for now, runners generally have their own technique for how to get hits in on Adea during the cycle, and then when the attack comes in, duck, because yeah, the most dangerous attack for ruining this no-hit run that Adea can do is the swipe, which will hit you if you're standing on the ground. So that's why runners sit. What you can also do is fire, when that attack comes in, fire arrows and hit the pearl, which is the weak spot. There's also a quick kill you can do, but it's a tricky one. So for safety, it's fine for runners to opt not to do it. But yeah, Matos, explain why we need to do bosses damageless in this.
Yeah, so we need to do, as you saw, we picked up that pearl. If you take any damage during that fight, you don't get that item, and that's true for every boss. Most bosses, the item is amazing, but there's just a few that you don't actually need the item, but those are the exception. So yeah, this run is on normal, but you still can't really take damage during the boss fight without losing time. And a lot of the time, most runners, if they take damage, will reset. You can do it without the item, but it's a lot harder.
Yeah, shout out to low percent runners that don't bother with these overpowered items.
And yeah, this is Azul got into the second fight here with Mocha and then Lubella.
And Ronwin's here as well.
Yeah,
so runners are very
really
close. So yeah, there's a couple things Mocha can do. You can have this Toho king attack with a bunch of orbs, which Azul is getting. Then on Ronwin's screen there was a big ball that explodes. If it hits you, you take damage, so your damage does not is ruined. But it also it leaves behind a dust cloud that curses you if you step into it, which disables using your items.
Oh, no.
That's bad. As it's getting hit is also bad. Especially because, well, one safety strat you can do is that door down there that you can see on the Azul screen. Before you go into this fight, you can backtrack to the save bell and do it, so you don't have to do this whole trek around again.
Yeah, it's a pretty big loss. Of course, if you go for the safety save, you do lose time if you just do it the first try. So that's why Azul skipped it, but unfortunately it's not paying off this time.
It's a risk you take, and sometimes risks do pay off, sometimes they don't.
Oops, and it looks like she'll need to go back anyway because she forgot to re-buy the item. Oops.
Also, pay no attention to what's happening on Roman's screen right now.
It's
you saw
okay,
nothing.
Just a little computer issues, I guess.
Yeah. Matters, did you explain what the pearl actually does as a property?
Oh, I did not. It applies
Okay.
a poison damage effect.
Yeah. And the funny part is, this is a double-edged sword. Because you can poison yourself with it. And if you even take one tick of poison damage during the fight, that's your damage that's run gone.
Yeah. You have to, and especially in the Lubella fight, that poison area is like right in the center of her body. So you have to avoid that. Because if you stand in it too long, you will get poisoned.
Yeah. Luckily, the hitbox for Lubella's hitbox, Lubella's hitbox for where you can hit her, it extends a bit further out than the graphics, so you can whack to the left.
Yeah, and you can dodge the little orbs from above on the left and the right as well. It's got a little bit more space on that attack in the center, but because of the poisons there, you have to dodge on the other ones.
Also, if you like that boss, good news, we're gonna be seeing her again later. Yeah. So the damage item for Lubella, for this first Lubella fight, is the Bachman patch. Probably the most busted one of them all. I want to say so. Because,
I'd say other ones, but yeah, I can see.
It's gonna synergize with another damage item later.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
Well, yeah, the Bachman patch, it rains a big, rains down a big flurry of blocks down, each of which has their own individual hitbox to deal damage with, and that's gonna be important later. For now, we've seen Ronwin venture through the subterranean grave, the third area that we venture through in the route that we have here, because as we explained before, this is a Metroidvania. There's different ways you can go, different order you can do things in. In fact, even in the speedrun, depending on the category, you do a different order, because correct me if I'm wrong, Matos, but I think it's a different area order for AVIP.
Yeah, AVIP goes Arsonist first.
Yeah, AVIP stands for All Vitality Fragments, Ivory Bugs, and Bosses. There's exactly one optional boss in the game, which means we can make an all bosses category. But yeah, it's more or less the 100% speedrun category. Actual 100% for Momo also requires map completion, but that's obnoxious for the speedrun, so we don't do that. So as actual speedrun completion speedrun, we have AVIP.
Yeah, I mean, there is all achievements, but only...
all achievements too, yeah.
And Googler are the only ones that have actually run that. That one's a pain.
Here's my hot take. Non-in-game achievements should not count for 100%. That's my hot gaming take.
Yeah, probably not. But for this game, it works, I think, okay. Like, the achievements are fine as a sort of progress indicator.
Oh, okay. I'm talking casual in that sense. For casual play, sure. Achievements should not be necessary for 100%.
Yes. I agree with that.
Anyway, on Ronwin's screen, a boss happened.
Yep. Went through Frida. did it really well.
Yeah, we can go over it here as Azul comes up to it. This is Frida. Damage to the item for this one is the Sparse Thread, which is just a big burst of damage emitted as a ring originating from yourself. There's also one item that the players have been using that we haven't explained yet, which is why there's occasionally blue rays just coming down out of nowhere. There's a secret room in the game somewhere that tells you about a special thing you can do if you press up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right. Some savvy players may recognize this as the directional inputs for the Konami code. And yeah, that's what it does. It spawns a little fairy called Konami with the C, and that's what rains down the rays of light. It targets random places in the room, so some players don't use it for bosses where the room is really big. Personally, I don't use it on Arsonist because the room is really big. Arsonist being a boss will come up later. And hey, here's Lubella again.
Yep, second fight, and get a dive immediately. So, unfortunately, a dive is gonna lose about it's like 7 or 9 seconds something. It's a really big time.
Yeah, and the dive at the start is the worst for this fight because one cheeky little strategy that we do here is using a crystal seed and then hitting the save bell. Along with saving your progress, save bells also restore your health and replenish the use of your items, your active items that you can menu to in the top left of the screen. So what we do is, because the save bell is so close to the boss, we use the crystal seed, hit the save bell, and then go into the fight. So we have basically half of the crystal seed starting the fight, but that kind of gets wasted when Lubella dives immediately.
Yeah, you lose all of it if she dives. But because you have that extra one left over, it still isn't the worst. It's not as bad as if you lose the crystal seed in the first fight. But yeah, you still don't want to see that dive. It still sucks.
Yeah. Speaking of the crystal seed, that's the item that we referenced at the start where you need money to buy it. And what it does is, I keep getting this confused. Is it just the arrows and bow that it improves?
No, it's just a 50% damage increase to everything. Well, except for other items, but yeah, so it just gives you a little damage.
Yeah, physical attacks.
Yeah.
Because I forget, because we're gonna be getting an item that is a better version of the crystal seed later on. Does that do the same thing?
Yeah.
Or does it affect the same things?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. It just is better.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll call back to that item when it actually comes up. Also, yeah, game does a fake out on you after the second Lubella fight where you seemingly die, but then the game progresses instead of kicking you to the game over screen.
Yep, and forces you into cat, which is a blessing and a curse, I guess, or a curse and a blessing, I should say.
Also, it looks like Ronwin is playing on an older version.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah, dialogue happened. So there's a couple updates for the game. The important ones are the important versions are 105B, 106, and 107? Or is it just 105B and 7?
Yeah, it's just 5B and 7. 6 is just slower and worse. So it's really only 5B and 7.
So some runners still stick to it, and in a lot of ways, 105B, 1.05B is the fastest version of the game. And yeah, one of the advantages of it is that when you interact with NPCs, with the exception of one that we'll be seeing later, there is no you don't get forced back into human form. Whereas in 1.06 and 7, you do.
Yeah, and that's really the why 107 wasn't run for a long time, because it was thought to be, because that you lose a lot of time because of that. It ends up that 107 buffed the highest arrow charge, and that buff saves enough time for 107 to be faster, but you have to play differently. So we will see a little bit different strats potentially between the two versions. But not it's not going to be major differences. It's a matter of seconds.
Yeah, there's a bunch of things we haven't talked about yet that have come up. Yeah, such as the bow charge level. So there's two ways of physically attacking. There's the bow and the maple leaf that you're whacking people with. That's your melee attack. The melee attack is just, yeah, it's a melee attack. You can do a three hit combo. The bow has three levels of charge at the start, and we unlock a fourth later on. Yeah, there's different terms for these things. Some people use level 1, 2, 3. Others say uncharged, half charge, full charge.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 3 levels of it, if you just spam it without charging it whatsoever, that's a level 1/uncharged.
Well,
Then
yeah,
you
I think we usually
can-
call that level 0 actually, but yeah, it's the same.
Oh,
thing.
level 0. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I use the charge terms. So
Yeah. So
I'm
it's
not
like
too familiar
level
with the
0,
levels.
1, 2, 3. So technically there are 4, but it starts at 0.
Yeah. So yeah, level 1/partial charge is when you start charging it, which also draws in these yellow particles. And but you release it before you fully charge, because at the full charge, Kaho, that's your playable character, is glowing red, and when you release it then with a full charge or level 2, you release 3 arrows in a cone. For damage output for the bow, before you get an upgrade that makes your arrows charge faster, it's the fastest DPS for the bow is to spam it uncharged. But at this point, after beating Frida, the players picked up a crest fragment, which gives them faster arrow charge. And now the partial charge is faster, where you hold the button and wait for the yellow particles to appear, and then you let go, and that makes it have better damage output.
Yeah, it's like just a little bit better, which is nice because spamming arrows kind of sucks, but
Yeah,
doing
you
it
can
in a
see-
rhythm is a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to do it in a rhythm with the partial charge.
Yeah, and we'll
Because
see a lot of arrows
you
in
can't
this fight.
mindlessly, yeah, you can't mindlessly spam the button to get the maximum fire rate on your arrows when you fully spam them uncharged. You do have to time the rhythm to it. If you just spam the button, you're not gonna get the perfect efficiency out of it.
Yeah, and that was a good fight from Ronwin. I was a little worried because he almost took some poison damage, but didn't take any damage, so it's going to get this pocket incensory. That is going
Yeah,
to
because that's the thing.
add...
Getting poisoned does not ruin your damage this run. It's taking a tick of poison damage.
Yeah.
And to be more specific about damages, it's specifically if there's a boss health bar on screen. There is a fight later where it's a 2-part fight where in between phases there's no boss health bar on screen. You can potentially do things that damage your health and you don't lose your damage this run.
Yeah. We probably won't see it, but yeah, you can take some damage there. Usually you don't see it, but...
Oh yeah, it's usually
it is a
safer
fun little
to...
thing.
The thing I'm hinting at is usually safer to do that before the fight straight up.
Yeah, but it is a cool little thing you can do, so...
Also, yeah, the character that Ronwin is talking to right now, that's the character I mentioned that even on 1.07 you can stay in cat form and talk to them because she's a cat witch.
Yeah, it's actually... the funny thing about that is that it's actually slower to do it in cat form because she gives you extra dialogue on 107.
Yeah,
so you actually switch to human, and then you talk to her, and then back, basically. And that's actually faster. So, like, the one thing you can stay in cat form is the one that's slower to do.
Yeah, it's those minor upgrades.
Yeah.
There's minor optimizations.
Yeah.
It's those minor optimizations that really push a game to the levels that the runners have definitely the world record holders have pushed it.
Yeah, and all the world records are on 105 for the most part. There's just the newest ones are on 107.
Oh, Ronwin got hit and then killed.
Yeah.
Which may I guess it wouldn't have been faster than pausing immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it died so fast. It's probably about the same.
it didn't matter too much, no. Okay, so Fennel. So most of the bosses have a random attack pattern that we have to adapt to on the spot. Fennel here is the only one that we have a consistent setup for. We do consistent actions, and it causes Fennel to do consistently the same things. It mainly involves 1 or 2 arrow shots plus 2 hits of the sparse thread. Then you move back, and that will cause Fennel to do a backflip, and then prime her sword. You wait a little bit because you have to avoid invisibility frames, and then you rain down the Bachman patch, which absolutely destroys her health bar. Because remember that synergy I mentioned with the Bachman patch? The damage boss item for the arsonist that we saw earlier is the pocketed sensory. This adds a flame property to all of your attacks, physical, bow, like melee bow, and all items that you have that do damage. So also the sparse thread and the Bachman patch. And yeah, each of those little blocks have their own individual hitbox. Therefore, for each and every single one of them, the damage gets increased by the pocketed sensory. And that is why the Bachman patch, in my opinion, is the strongest boss item.
Yeah, I mean, it goes from like 20 damage to, what is it, like 80 or something? It's what it does,
yeah,
like
the flame property itself it's a big damage buff.
Yeah, and it's because the Bachman patch just has so many small things, it's like the most impactful on it. But yeah, it's just a good item in general. It just adds damage to everything.
Yeah, so okay, so Ronwin currently is in the Royal Pinacotheca. So one thing that is technically optional, well, not technically, it is straight up optional, but one thing we mandate for speedruns of this game is getting the true ending.
Yeah, and we
the
need to
true
get that
ending,
item.
and yeah, for the true ending is the reason why we have to collect all the relic fragments. I'm mixing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon into this. The fragments, the crest fragments, that's the term. Yeah, collect 4 of them to gain access to this area, the Royal Pinacotheca. Which apparently I'm the only person ever that can say that correctly, but we move.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what it... I usually say Pinacotheca, but I don't know. You're probably more right than I am.
Oh, tomato.
Yeah.
As long as you don't pronounce letters that aren't there.
Yeah, and it looks like Ronwin accidentally entered the screen before it was like before the Bachman got cast,
yeah.
So had to redo that fight.
Also, accidentally put the save file on slot 5, so every reset Ronwin has the menu to it.
That's probably why it's just taking a death. Because you know that getting to slot 5 is more annoying than slot 1. Not a big deal though, just a small thing.
Yeah, I mean any slot other than 1. 1 is the default. But yeah, this is what the strat was meant to be: is cast the first Bachman patch. Unfortunately, that's another hit. Yeah, cast the first Bachman patch before the fight starts, then enter the fight. Because something we haven't mentioned yet, but the runners have been doing, it's kind of arbitrary which fights can and can't be skipped like this. But for certain fights, you can, when you initiate them, you can just pause and unpause to skip the intro and get the fight started immediately. And yeah, the reason that you need the fragments to get into the Royal Pinacotheca is to get this item that Azul just picked up, the Sealed Wind. I'm gonna use this later to upgrade our leaf to a more purifying leaf to fully cure the curse that's befallen this land that we're here to solve. And yeah, that's what gets you the true ending.
Yeah, and as we were talking there, they are now even again. That is just the power of the...
Yeah, Azul had some strokes of misfortune that put her behind a fair amount, but yeah, that's just how much this game can swing sometimes. And why even if you have a bad run, it's like, don't give up, keep going, do the best you can. So this is a 2-part fight. So, Azul actually did the Tainted Missive strat. This is the damageless boss item from Fennel. You know, remember that boss whose health you absolutely destroy? And what the Tainted Missive does is, this is the item that is like the Crystal Seed, but better. It increases the damage by 100% instead of 50, and it has 2 uses versus the Crystal Seed's 1. The trade-off of it, however, is that you do take 25% of your max HP in damage yourself. And this, yeah. And it's not the kind of item is, oh, it's damage to yourself, so you can't kill yourself with it. If the damage would kill you, it'll set you 1 health. No, no, no. You will die if you use it if you're below 25% of your max HP.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to insane difficulty, where it still does it, so your health actually goes into decimals, which makes the Tainted Missive free to use, because at insane you have 1 health, you die in 1 hit anyway, so there's no drawback to using the Tainted Missive. You do still take the damage, so it does still count as taking damage for the damages fights. But yeah, it's like it will feel like there's no penalty to it. So. Here's where we use the Sealed Wind on Azul's screen. We spin this windmill to open up this area. It's a pool of hibisco tea. We dip our leaf in it, and now we get the fresh spring leaf. Our red maple leaf is now green. And you'll be able to see it on the graphical effects. Like the melee attack you see coming out is now green instead of red. And yeah, this is the optimal movement. One thing we didn't touch on yet is after Arsonist, you pick up another relic fragment, the second to last one, and that gives you an air dash. That's also what the circles are that you see, the white circles that emit from the runners every now and then from the character. That's the use and recharge of the air dash. And yeah, this is where the movement gets really technical as a cat, because the air dash, the roll jump.
Yeah, the air dash is the fastest, and then but you have enough time in between that you can do a roll jump and a melee.
Yeah, and the reason you do a melee, because you don't do this as a human, but the reason you do a melee as a cat is because the cat roll is one of the worst movement options in the game, because it has a big slowdown at the end. But you can cancel this slowdown by doing a melee attack in midair.
Was that intentional?
Probably not.
I was so confused. I was like, wait, what?
It's probably not intentional, but Hey, if I'm wrong, I'll gladly take a correction. But that's what I've always understood, is that the melee attack is to cancel the slowdown.
No. So sorry. You're correct on the thing. I was looking at Azul's screen, and she exited out of the game. But I think now that her health was low enough that she might have died to the.
Oh yeah, do a reset. Because this is a mid boss. There was a mid boss earlier that we completely ignored. Just on the way to some backtracking, there's this knight, you do 2 sparse threads and he's done. But yeah, this is the second like mid boss, where it's a boss fight, but there's no boss health on screen, and there's like no damage to item or all that stuff, but it is like a strong enemy you have to fight. The Clone Angel. The strat for this is pop Tainted Missive, then 2 sparse threads and 2 melee hits within the cycle. The one that flies lower is the real one, which is unintended but consistent. I think the devs straight up, I think we asked, some people of the community asked, and devs straight up mentioned that it wasn't unintentional, that the real Clone Angel flying lower is a tell for which is the real one. Because the intended tell is the real one, when it attacks, there's a white ring emitting from it, and the fake one has a red ring emitting from it, and the real one's attack is a white sphere, the fake one's attack is a red sphere. In the meantime, we're here at the final boss.
At the final boss, yeah. And Azul's looking to finish this as long as she doesn't, die here, which she didn't. So GG to her, taking this first round.
Yeah. Yeah, can mark that.
Yeah, I marked it.
Okay, I have the
Oops.
things up too. Oh.
Did it do 2? Let me... Are you gonna undo it?
Yeah, I have undone it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Ronwin's following it up here, so... Really close race, really. Within 40 seconds?
Yeah, we didn't tell anyone
30
this,
seconds,
but the comeback win that Azul pulled off here actually counts for 2.
Yeah, so yeah,
That's a
30
joke,
seconds...
by the way.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
Oops. 30 seconds in between the players is a really close first match, and it really came down to that loopy R fight, because Ronwin really struggled. But Azul got it first try and managed to, you know, just take the lead from there. So yeah, we'll start getting into the
Yeah, let me pop open a new room for this.
Yes. I will also make sure I stop syncing, so we don't have to do that right at the start of the next one.
Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in this game, or if you're watching this as a runner and you want to do some races with people, there's a very nice and pretty easy to use website called racetime.gg. And this game, we call it Momo 4, by the way, for short. This game's on there.
Yeah, it's really helpful to use the race time. It's really nice to sync up, especially if you're using live split. You can just have it automated, which is really nice.
I'll go ahead and send this this new race room to the runners. There we go. Bang.
So yeah, we should be getting into the.
Well, yeah, we're already congrats on the runners here on. On a good game 1 that we've seen here.
Yeah, it was a really good first game. It was really close for the majority of the beginning.
Yeah, close run, back and forth.
Yeah.
Someone gets considerably ahead, but then a couple mistakes come in. Other runner capitalizes on them to make the comeback.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, and it ended 30 seconds within each other, so you know it was close at the end even.
And it's also really close, yeah.
I guess going into the second game, is there anything we want to see?
A day a quick kill.
Yeah, I don't think either of these players went for it, so probably not gonna see it on either.
No, I don't blame them, because I can't do quick kill a day a quick kill either. I have not bothered to learn it.
It's not too bad, especially if you pause buffer.
I've seen it in action a few times, so it's not something I would not be able to learn. It's just more so I haven't bothered to do it yet.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, my strat is I just stand there, so I walk into the fight, and then don't press any movement buttons, and I just wait until she almost always does the little tail swipey thing, and if she does that, then you just gotta know when to pause and then when to unpause and let go of your arrow.
Yeah,
and it's pretty simple to do.
Yeah, I made a mention about the bosses doing like random attacks, and yeah, when you do the fight normally, as the runners have done here in game 1, yeah, it will be random what a day it does, but you can, however, manipulate it as Matos explained, and yeah, bait Adea into doing a certain attack that puts her pole in front of her. You release the arrows at a certain specific time, which causes all 3 arrows to hit on the same frame, which does weird things with the damage calculation, and it kills Adea instantly.
Yeah, there must be just something weird with the pearl happening, because it does take... It's the only thing in the game where it takes extra damage, like it's a critical point. But the 3 arrows shouldn't kill in 1 hit, but for some reason, like, I don't know.
Because you can, because during normal strats where you hit the pearl, during normal attacks, during normal Adea attacks, you can hit all 3 arrows, but it just doesn't achieve the same effect. They all three hit as normal, and it does just the normal triple damage of a charged arrow.
Yeah, and it still does a lot, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens there. I don't know if anyone knows why it actually does the quick kill. It was one of the things that got found early on, and
yeah.
just
So,
went
so
with
much
it.
so that we officially classify it as a glitch, and in no major glitches such glitchless that we do have for this game.
Yeah, it's like one of the few allowed glitches.
Yeah, so it in that rule set it specifically mentions like any and all glitches are banned except for the optional Adea quick kill.
Yeah,
Like it specifically mentions it.
and I mean, it's like it saves time definitely when you get it, and it's not too difficult. So there is like a barrier to entry for it, but it certainly isn't the worst. You know, difference between players. You know, like you could if you had one player that's not doing it and one player that is doing it, it would be probably like a difference of like 10, 20 seconds. So that's still
Yeah,
like
it's
doable
worth.
in a race.
Yeah, it's really all a matter of do you know how to do Adea quick kill? Okay, go. Okay, well do it then. And if not, then just do normal.
Yeah, and so we're back in the Grove. We're gonna see some who gets out of the Grove first. Last time both of them did it pretty well.
Yeah, this feels a little weird seeing you with all the
Oh no!
all the movement options taken away because we're back at the start of the game again. And yeah, unfortunate early death there for Ronwin. No save point yet, so yeah, back to the start with you.
That death is like right before a save too, so.
Yeah, those are the worst. Even in casual play, like. Doesn't matter if you're casual player or a speedrunner. If you die just before a save point, it hurts just as much.
Yeah, especially in like a
maybe as a speedrunner it hurts a little less because it's just like okay, I'll reset and try again. But this is a tournament / marathon setting. There ain't no resetting here.
Yeah. And it looks like Azul got through to that save, so gonna pull ahead here. Doing some
a little bit of poison damage.
A lot of damage though, yeah.
Yeah, nothing too concerning.
As long as she doesn't get hit again, I think she'll be fine.
Yeah, it's half health now, so.
Yeah, fortunately, normal's pretty forgiving with how much damage you can take, especially in the Grove. If it was insane, that would just, you know, of course, kill you.
Yeah, maybe on hard even.
Yeah, on hard that amount of damage would kill as well. But no one really runs hard, so if you're gonna run hard, you might as well run insane for the most part as a speedrun.
Yeah, just do one speedrun of hard to unlock insane, and then you move on.
Yeah, and you can get a free world record probably because there's so many open for hard. Yeah, going into this Adea fight, getting some pretty good hits in. Unfortunately isn't getting as many pearl hits maybe as she would like.
Yeah. Also, something weird I'm seeing on the Azul side is seeing ground hits in midair. So this is the thing you can do, similar to how you can do a roll jump by pressing the roll and jump buttons on the same frame. If you press the jump and attack buttons on the same frame, you jump in the air, but you do the attack animation for the attack that if you were standing on the ground.
Yeah, and it counts as a as a ground attack, which is nice. The ground attack or the air attack technically does do more damage, but it also does it has this weird pause, which makes it a little slower. So yeah, it can.
Oh, like a sort of hit lag thing, I guess.
Yeah, kind of like with the roll, where it just with the cat form roll, where it just kind of
rolling into spikes. Oof.
Yeah, unfortunate missed the roll jump there. That can happen really easily with roll jumps because.
So yeah, even on easy, doesn't matter. Spikes always kill you in the same frame. Unfortunately, no save bell for Azul. So back to Adea.
Oh no.
That's really rough.
I didn't even notice she didn't take that save. You always take that save.
I didn't either.
I just assumed. Did Ronwin not take the save either? Am I crazy?
I don't think so.
What? These runners are gonna.
Wait, big
Scare us.
risks to take for.
Yeah, I don't even know if that risk is worth it because that save is basically free. I mean, you take the time loss of using a melee attack when you maybe don't need to, but that's so much more worth it in this setting.
Yeah, in a setting such as this, it really isn't worth it to to skip save bells. Maybe the occasional one.
Yeah, if you
Like
if
the
you're
one
like
after you,
Googler, maybe.
Yeah, the one after you get cursed into being a cat, and you backtrack to Flora Ciela, which we completely ignored in game 1. So we'll go over that one once the runners get there. Oh, nice damage
Yeah.
boost. Oh.
That was,
On the Azul side, sometimes it's if you get hit early on, if you do a roll but still get hit, you basically like shoot forward.
oh, he didn't save.
No save. Yeah, no save.
Oh no. Yeah, at that point it would definitely
As
have been
far-
faster just to finish
Yo,
the fight.
As far as we know, the runners aren't in conversation with each other, so we're pretty sure that there's no like collusion of like, hey, we'll both skip the save point. This is
I mean,
this is not
they
planned.
passed it before we even talked about it, so there's no way they would have known.
Yeah, exactly. It may be that both of them just had a moment and forgot to hit it.
Well, I guess it's
That can happen.
yeah.
The more you feel you're in the flow, the more liable you are to just forget something that normally happens autonomously.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Azul gets out of it, so gonna pull out ahead here.
Yeah, this time Ronwin did hit the save.
Yes.
Hopefully he won't need it because he's behind enough as it is. We saw a big comeback. We saw a big comeback earlier in game 1, but you know, it's not something
that
you
can always happen again.
Not exactly something you should be relying on.
Yeah, you don't want to rely on it, but Lupiar is just, she's the evener sometimes. She can be such a pain.
Olupia and Magnolia are the Grim Reapers of this run.
Yeah, they kill so many rounds.
Without a doubt. Also, yeah, apologies on the occasional slowdown on Ronwin's side. That's us syncing the run timers to be equal. Maybe an occasional connection thingy that causes it to desync, so that's us resyncing it.
Yeah, and as long as the scores at the top are relatively close, it should be okay. Just technical stuff.
Yeah.
Something we
not
didn't notice-
opting for the chest roll jump. It did happen in game. She did do it in game 1.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say that she must be playing on the high graphical setting, because if you play on the low graphics setting in this game, it doesn't really do anything. But this is like the one area it does, and it just like lightens the whole area up. So
Okay, I don't know. I probably play with whatever the default is.
yeah, I think it's high by default, but yeah, it's like this is literally the only area it actually matters in, and it's just a small thing. Like you don't even need it, but it, you know, just a little thing.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I have to say my favorite thing about this run is that there's technically frame perfect inputs. Because roll jump.
Yeah, roll jump.
By technical dictionary definition, a frame perfect trick. It's just
it's like
very easy to. It's just the easiest frame perfect thing to do ever. It's just press 2 buttons on the same frame.
Yeah, fortunately you don't have to do it on like a specific frame. It's just input, like you have to put them in the same frame. There is a few frame perfect things.
That would make it so much more awful if you had to press the buttons on different frames to get the roll jump effect.
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. There's a few frame perfect cat transformations you can do. They only save like less than a second, like just 0.7 seconds. So they're not the biggest deal. but they can
Also,
be nice to get.
Azul here with the faster but somewhat riskier version of the Frida fight, which is to take it on in melee hits. Because while sitting in the corner and spamming arrows is nice and safe, arrows do less damage.
Yeah, well, notably you can charge arrows while meleeing, so you get the best of both worlds. Whereas if you're just doing arrows, you
that too.
miss out on melee damage. It was kind of like a hybrid though, because she's also doing the.
Yeah, just a little bit of like safety play in the corner there. But yeah, that's the main thing you got to look out for. That attack that came in right at the very end, the Frida trying to peck you. If you did the safety strat of sitting, ducking in the corner and spamming arrows, that attack will never hit you, because if Frida decides to do it, it will be at a distance too far away to hit you. If you were if you were fully pushed up into the corner, into the right wall in the corner.
And Ronwin's skipping the that save there, notably. So hopefully this fight goes well. Frida
there is one more save
good.
point coming up, right? Yeah.
Well, he'd have to go out of his way to get it, but.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's behind the wall. It's on the backtrack.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that it's just gonna be straight into the fight. So.
I mean,
don't
Frida
reset
is
this
one
fight
of the.
whatever you do, right?
I mean, yeah, Frida. As long as you know what you're doing, Frida is one of the easier bosses to do damageless.
Yeah, all of her moves you can counter pretty easily, and you can tell what they are. So it's definitely not the worst fight. And you can technically, well, okay, now he can't take damage during the fight at all. But I was gonna say he can technically still play the game without the sparse thread, but at this point, yeah, it's gonna have to be a really good first attempt at this one.
Also, really low health on Azul in the meantime, but there's a save point coming up, so
Yeah,
that's
made
for her
it
it's no
through.
concern. It's like a literally intentional save point because of the thing we mentioned with save buff recharging your items and exploiting that with the crystal seed. Instant dive here.
Yeah, instant, just.
So there's something that some runners do, which we allow for runs because it doesn't change anything about the speed. Is we have the ability to change text in the game. I've done it at one point for a marathon run to put some like marathon-friendly text, like "Hey, thanks for watching." I put it in the ending text so it would do it for me. But what is more common for people to do is to change the boss names, and for more than one runner, Lubella's name will get changed to something involving a diving instructor.
Mm-hmm. She is especially at like if you're going for like if you're going for like the highest possible time. If you get a dive, sometimes like at that level you just have to reset because it's just such a long time loss.
Yeah. Technically, I could use it to do a little bit of finicky stuff. To set Lubella's name to such a thing that I can use, but I can use that already in general, is set it to a certain name so I can use that as a visual cue for when to pop the sparse threads to end the fight, because that's something I like doing to end the fights, is use the sparse threads to end the fight.
Yeah, that would be good. That it's like slightly faster because the sparse thread like hits kind of weirdly with how it does damage. So yeah, ending them with the fight is nice.
Yeah, it's specifically the visual ring that's on screen is the hitbox of it. So if you stand right in Lubella's hitbox and you pop the sparse thread, it hits instantly. If you stand to the side, then you have to wait before the ring physically enters the hitbox, and then it'll hit. And there's actually a sort of safety strat you can do with the Clone Angel fight near the end of the game, where you can stand a certain distance away to delay when the sparse thread actually hits the Clone Angel, because the first hit you get on the Clone Angel essentially starts an internal timer for when she teleports away from being hit. So if you stand a little further away when you hit the sparse thread hits later on in the casting animation, meaning you finish sooner to have a little bit more time to get your melee hits in after before she teleports away. Also, yeah, something we alluded to but didn't actually close the thought on is the bosses that don't need to be damageless. The second Lubella fight is one of them. but you will have seen it by now. People have taken damage and gone through that fight. That's because the damages boss item for Lubilla 2 is an item that gives you a small amount of HP back with every enemy you kill. It's mainly not useful because we're speedrunners, we just go past things. We're not murdering anything that is not necessary to be murdered.
Yeah,
Whereas
fighting.
We're
really
more or less as pacifist as possible. Sometimes we'll take on an enemy if they're in our way.
Yeah, in the Grove, it's hard to do pacifist, but pretty much everywhere else.
Yeah, there's a fair few enemies in the Grove that you will want to attack, but after that, it's just like you can just dodge past everyone.
Yep, and of course that's gonna be faster because, just
yeah.
moving.
So an item like that is not useful. The other boss, by the way, is the final boss because obviously the run's done after.
Yeah.
Is there even a damages item for it?
You can. In New Game Plus, you can get that item from the Queen.
Oh, does it just spawn in front of your face in the Grove then?
Yeah, I think it's just there. Like it's just there when you hit yes and spawn in.
Yeah, there is New Game Plus for this, by the way, as well. As you do with the Metroidvania.
And I still think it's not an item that gets used. I don't even recall what it is off the top of my head, but it's something that's like not useful.
Alright, someone in chat, go pull up the Momo wiki and look it up. Enlighten us. Yeah, anyway, I said we would talk about Forestiella when the runners got there, so I will. So yeah, you go through this weird red lightning that just magically changes the world, and that's how you enter Forestiella, and how you later on also leave it to go back to the Grove. And yeah, all you go there for, there's no boss, there's no big enemy. It's just, you get the fragment and you get out, and that is the fragment that lets you warp. We have not talked about warps at all, which is weird, because it's a very integral part of the route. Warp points. There is a time in the run. You can see it on Ronwin's screen right now, where people, yeah. So go to the right, dip into that room, and then go back out. So the rules for warping. To unlock the warp towards an area, you need to have physically been present in the room that contains the save point you warp to. So the room that Ronwin just dipped into, and the one that Azul teleported to, that is the room that contains the save point you warp to for Forlorn Monastery. And yeah, Forlorn Monastery is a very important warp to get. We warp to it a ton in this run.
Yeah, it's at the intersection of 3 different paths that we go down. So
yeah, all but 2 of the warps are to the monastery. The only other warps are, after you beat Fenrir, you teleport to Karst City, because that's the closest warp points to the door to enter the Royal Pinacotheca.
Yeah, and then the Karst Castle.
The Royal Pina Colada.
Yeah.
And the other one is the last warp in the game to, after you purify the leaf, you warp to Karst Castle to go to the end of the game. Like, that's the movement at the end of the game. After you beat Lupia or Magnolia, you move towards the room that contains the save point you warp to in Karst Castle. In the meantime, you use the Bachman patch to hit an off-screen switch to open up a ladder that you want to go down. Then you teleport to the Forlorn Monastery one last time to go and purify the leaf, and then you go back to whatever the nearest save point is, because while there's only specific save points you warp to, you can warp from any save point.
Yeah, and that's really nice too, because it'd make it a lot slower if you couldn't warp from some of these save points.
Yeah, there's certain Metroidvanias that have specific warp areas. I think Castlevania. I think the two name givers of the genre actually have this. Where in Metroid, in most Metroid games, you can only move between specific warp points, and in Castlevania, you can only move between specific warp points.
Yeah, and it looks like we're getting into this final fight again. Hopefully, in the first round, Azul got a little unlucky, but it looks like this time it went flawlessly.
Yeah, See, that's an example of the poison. The poison happened, but the boss health bar was already gone by the time the first tick came in, so still damageless.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at that point. Meanwhile, Ronwin's getting a little further behind because still needs to do the arsonist fight. Struggling a little to get through the platforming sections here.
Yeah, normally going down in the platform is really easy, but in this section, it's actually kind of tricky. You need to dodge things.
Yeah, there's a few things that'll hit you, so you have to avoid some stuff, and not as easy as just falling.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a weird sense of difficulty with this run. Like, at the same time, there is the difficulty of needing to do bosses damageless, but at the same time, we have strats to do them damageless. That makes it easier. Also, it gives us it gives us special items that let us do damageless. That makes it even more doable to do damageless. So there's a weird like pros and cons that balance each other out with the importance of damageless.
Yeah, it can. The damageless definitely can be a barrier for new players, but overall, I think this game is fairly easy, like, to get into.
Oh yeah, remember? Oh yeah, I made the terrible decision of learning this game for a 12-hour challenge. 12 hours is not enough to properly learn this game. If you want to learn this game, don't do a 12-hour challenge. Take more time to learn it. Don't be me.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's still not like, you know. I mean, it's still like got difficulties to it, so it's not like the easiest thing, but it's certainly not as difficult as like some other games can be, because some speedruns are just brutal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It doesn't take weeks to learn, but you do want to fit more than 12 hours to it.
Yeah, and there's no like big glitches or anything, so you don't have to like worry about like one thing.
Yeah, I think my first run was like an hour 20, so
yeah,
an hour 20, and presently I have an unofficial PB of 26:17. But my speaking of doing stupid things, I actually got it during the warm-up for my first tournament match for this very tournament. I did a warm-up and that actually PB'd, but because it was a warm-up for a tournament match, I wasn't recording.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It was a warm-up I was doing before I went live.
Yep. Just
so
means that you can do it again.
So my time on speedrun.com is not my actual PB, but it's my recorded PB. So, you know, hey, I did it once. I can do it again. Copium. It's not really copium. It's like
It's
I
just
have improvements I can do. I still don't do the cat movement with the. I don't do roll jumping as a cat. I just jump.
Yeah, I mean, roll jumping, it's like a small thing, so it's not even that big of a deal at that point. Like, if you didn't know roll jump, you can do a good time too.
Yeah, if you can get the hang of it, then it's something you can implement. But otherwise, you're perfectly fine to just run and jump, because that's another thing with the cat is. And I guess this is a good time to talk about the differences between a human and cat. So the cat runs way faster than the human does. Like, the cat runs faster than running as a cat is faster than rolling as a human.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the human roll doesn't have that slowdown.
Yeah.
The cat also, I believe the cat also jumps higher.
Yeah, the cat jumps a bit, like quite a bit higher, so you can make jumps that you can't make.
Which makes sense. You know, cats in real life are better jumpers than humans.
Yeah.
Can't wait for cat high jump world championship.
Yeah, and while we were talking, Azul did make it past Lupier and Magnolia, so hopefully Ronwin's able to catch up here.
That's a big draw for looking to end this series early.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not a ton of places that you can get stuck on now. I know earlier in the previous match, Azul had some issues getting through the Karst Castle bit, like with the Clone Angel.
Yeah, but
that's really the only thing that could stop that could get Ronwin to catch up.
Yeah. Getting back to the difference between cat, because we've been only listing positives, so you might be thinking like, okay, if the cat is that much better, why even be a human at all? Well, there's a few things the cat can do. I'm sure in real life cats can climb ladders, but Kaho as a cat is not able to climb ladders, so you have to be a human for that. Additionally, the only item you can activate is the cat sphere. This is an item you pick up very shortly after being cursed into a cat, which really makes the curse not a curse at all. You get cursed to be a cat, and then immediately after get an item that lets you switch to and from that form at will. So it really is not much of a punishment. Lubella should get better at punishments. Maybe we'll see her in Moonlit Farewell. Who knows?
Hopefully.
And but yeah, the cat sphere, that is the only item you can use as a cat. The other items you cannot use. If you select them as a cat, there's a big red X over them.
Yeah, and also you can't charge arrows with.
Yeah, you cannot use your arrows. The only physical attack you can use is the melee attack.
Yeah, so you basically every boss fight you're gonna be in a human.
Yeah,
form.
that's also Lubella being bad at punishing you. She curses you into being a cat, then puts you in a cage, but does not take away your ability to break the cage she puts you in.
Yeah, so, yeah.
But I guess I can cut her a little bit of slack. It is like a desperation attempt because you just beat her, and I believe there is some text saying that like Lubella is defeated for good. So pretty sure we won't see her in Moonlit Farewell, but a guy can dream.
Yeah, it'll probably be completely separate from, like, each game has been in a different time, so.
Yeah, this is actually, yeah, timeline-wise, this game actually is first, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a prequel from.
It should be a prequel even to Momodora 1. There is a small game, I believe it's on itch.io, where you can get Momodora 0. You can find that on itch.io, and it's just it's almost like a tech demo for Momo. It feels like.
Yeah, just like a warm up.
Yeah, it's just a cute little stripped down version of Momo to just have a short fun time with. Also, this game was also considerably longer than the rest of the series. Momo 1, 2, and 3 are all very short, and yeah, that is the end of the series. Congratulations to Azul. I'll let you do the thing so we don't double hit it again.
Okay. There we go. And yeah, so Azul should be able to join the voice chat now, so we might see her pop in.
Yeah.
If she gets the invite.
Hey. Nevertheless, GG to Ronwin for still putting up a good fight, especially in Game 1.
Yeah, Game 1 was really close. This game, unfortunately, well, both players made the same mistake at the beginning, but unfortunately it ended up being a little worse for Ronwin.
Yeah, I hope we can get both of them in so we can talk about that. That is something really worth talking about. But yeah, the text you can see on screen with Azul right now, that's the ending text that I mentioned that I changed the text for like specifically for a marathon. It was like, hey, thank you for watching. I think I did I put a plug for this tournament in there as well. Because that was the run I did at the Pixel Perfect marathon.
Yeah, that was in the tournament for sure. You could have done your match at the same time.
Oh yeah, imagine. You wouldn't be able to use my audio, but technically could have combined it. Although I think at the time I was still against another person in the tournament that unfortunately had to drop out.
Yeah.
And I think it was after that Azul came in as a replacement.
Yep.
So hey, I'm taking all the credit for Azul being here. You can't stop me.
Yeah, go ahead, take it. I won't. I didn't have any credit. I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we can keep going.
Yeah,
in
no,
the tournament, so.
and yeah, no. Memes aside, big props here for Azul, who has, I believe, picked up this run after this tournament started.
Yeah. She's. I mean, it's been this
She started
year,
running.
So.
She started running this game either shortly after or shortly before the tournament started, and it was at my suggestion since a few runners had to drop out, it was at my request. It's like, hey, can Azul step in for one of the runners? Because as I mentioned, I was scheduled against a person that had to unfortunately drop out. So it's like, oh yeah, I don't mind losing out on a bye for this round. I'll do a match against Azul.
Yeah, and she's put up a really impressive performance. I know in the PB channel she got like a 25 something, so definitely one of the better times that.
Oh yeah, the
people get.
improvement there's been very quick improvement on Azul since she started.
And yeah, and we're getting close to the Ronwin finishing this one too. So good job on him.
All right, well, let's take a look at the bracket here. Yeah. So yeah, that is Azul moving on. Also, hi. This avert your eyes, children.
Oops. Right at the worst time. And covering the boss fight. Unfortunate. Oh, it looks like he's still doing okay, so he'll fight through it.
Yeah, unfortunately, he lost the tainted missive because yeah, we never discussed the boss strategy here for the final boss. So the idea is do a couple melee hits and avoid attacks in the meantime initially, and obviously pop tainted missive at the start, and then use the supercharge or level 3, because yeah, that's the main thing that's buffed in 1.07. So Ronwin's not playing on it, but yeah, it's still the strat here. And then yeah, here we get the final phase. You pop.
Oh, going for a. Okay, looks like it'll be okay.
Yeah, no Bachman patch coming in. Ooh, stream's chugging.
Yeah, didn't like the sign in, I guess. Yeah, hopefully he doesn't take any damage. This isn't usually how this fight goes, so.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't use the Bachman patch. You can see how much the Bachman patch speeds up, but that is time.
Yeah, especially in 105B, you need the Bachman patch. In 107, you don't need it at all, but for this fight.
Yeah, this is the developments that we've been talking about. There have been especially in recent months, there have been some developments specifically with boss strategies involving not using a Bachman patch or using the supercharges that we're able to put with optimal play. We're able to put 1.07 ahead of 1.05B.
Yep. And yeah, the queen fight is definitely the biggest gain in 107 because you get you have everything, so you do tons of damage.
Yeah, if you do everything right, you can do phase 2 with a single smart thread.
Yeah, it's like
just the super a tainted missive buffed supercharge plus one plus one smart thread.
Well, yeah, and there's a few melee hits in there, but yeah.
But see, Ronwin has entered the chat here for the interview.
Yeah, let's.
We'll see if we can try and get a hold of Azul.
Can you DM her and see if she gets the invite? I know there's some because of the. Sometimes it doesn't send the automatic one if the name isn't correct, and Discord did do that name change thing, so.
Yeah.
Little technical stuff.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. There we go.
All right, we have both runners here now.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
That first one was a doozy.
Yeah, we were. Oh, we were on the edge of our seats watching this.
Yeah, that first one was really close. So
I was like, I cannot believe I got hit. I was trying to do a 2-hit and I accidentally hit the X button, my attack button again, and I got hit by the ball. And I'm like, just praying. I was like, and then Arsonist freaking hit me like twice, and I'm like over here like come on. And then the RNG gods just blessed me with good Lupard Magnolia. I was like, oh, you do it in this race when I'm like super far behind, but not when I'm on a good run.
I had the opposite. Like in practice run, I never had problems with them, and then in the race I died twice.
Yeah, and like that's like the killer in a race, because it's so because you gotta go out of your way to even like because you have to go down and open like the little elevator where you go up and you go to the right, but you can also go to the left and I think open like a door, which just it costs so much time even just to do that, and getting hit there costs like a minute.
yeah, it's a pretty rough fight. I did want to say, in the second game, both of you skipped the first save in Karst City.
Yeah,
And
I've never missed that roll jump there. I always get it, and of course I fall right in the pit.
I
Yeah,
never
there's-
think that's safe.
Something can
I-
get you. Also, what really stood out to us in game 2 was you both got past the Dea, then went on, then had to reset or died, and you went back and had to do a Dea again, and it happened. So you didn't take the save point where you buy the crystal seed, and it happened to both of you.
Yeah, and also
We had
in
to
the first.
convince people that was not planned.
And
No,
then yeah, it's
me-
funny. It's funny it happened to both of us, because I looked over and I saw, I just had the stream playing on my phone so I could see like where what my pace is, and then I looked over and I was like, oh, they're doing a D again. I was like, we did pretty much the exact same thing, so we're pretty.
Yeah.
I think because of that I got a little bit of a lead.
Yep. I don't know about Azul. I never take that save because of pure greed.
I feel like it's not that bad. It's probably worth it
Yeah,
to take the save.
Yeah, it
you
is.
don't
In
lose
a
too
setting
much.
like this, yes. Like
Yeah.
And
like in PB
First boss.
attempts, okay, fine. Don't take it if you die. Okay, reset and start over. But yeah, you don't have that luxury in a race setting.
And of course in the first one I was like I'm like I think a little bit behind on what I usually do in the forest, and I was like after I like go all the way around, I was like, I'll just go straight to Labella, and then of course I got hit, and it really cost me like the whole race until the very end.
Yeah, it's always an interesting. It's like the first real big decision that you have to make in a setting like this, where like, do I take the save before Lubella 1? Yes or no? Do I risk it? Yes or no?
I've done that in every race, and like just as a precaution in case I get hit, and then of course when I don't take it, I get hit. But in
Yeah.
the second race, because I fell in the pit, I decided not to do it, and I played like really safe because I already had to go back and do Adia again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else went fine. Fennel trolled me. I was too slow on that, so lost on that. I was just praying. I was like, only way I'm gonna win this is if they get hit. If Ronwin gets hit by Lupard Magnolia, because that's usually what the race comes down to. Like, you could be like a few minutes above your competitor, and oh, you got hit. Oh, sorry, you gotta waste like a minute getting back to the fight.
Yeah, we have talked during the match about Lupier Magnolia and what a big turning point for the run it is. the Grim Reapers of this
I'm like,
speed
I'm
run.
over like, please no roll, please at least one roll. 'Cause she gets 2 rolls, it's like it's pretty much you gotta do it
Yeah,
really slow.
Because you gotta realize if you, for those of you watching, many of the fight, as we mentioned during the tournament, most of the fights have random attack patterns, or they're predetermined in a way that we cannot manipulate as fleshy meatbags.
The only thing I've noticed is Labella 1 always starts with her orb attack. It comes from above, but Labella 2 will just do whatever the hell she wants.
Like that.
Although I've had Lubello one start with a dive as well. It is actually random.
Really?
But yeah, this is the case
Yeah.
with Lupiar. Lupiar is where it becomes most of a problem, because you need, like, you can stay a safe distance where you do the Bachman patch. That's all fine, but then you have to get close to do the sparse thread, and if you then within rolling into you distance.
Yeah, like you have to hope that the last little bit of the Bachman patch stuns her, so you can pop. And sometimes you won't get all the hits, so sometimes the sparse thread won't one shot. That happened in the first game. It's like my sparse thread didn't one shot her, but luckily when I hit her one time, it stunned her, and I was able to kill her then.
Yeah. And this is something that did not show up, because you as runners are aware of this, but Lupiar cannot be damaged by bows, so you can't play the range game and just shoot arrows at her. She is immune to arrows.
I learned that Chaos Angel is also immune. The Clone Angel is also immune to arrows. I was doing a run the other day, and they're also immune to
Yeah.
arrows.
No, I didn't know.
And the knight is also immune.
Yeah. That one I don't know. That one I actually could have tested
Yeah,
that
the
because
knight.
that
That makes sense. That makes sense that you don't know, because yeah, 2 sparse threads and you're
Yeah,
done.
there's
Like,
no
and it
reason
can-
to.
Yeah.
Like,
I
maybe
can-
you'll run into it in casual play your first time. You try to hit him with arrows and it doesn't work. But like in just the speed run, or if you're learning the speed run, it's without a doubt the easiest enemy officially classified as a boss because of the sparse threads. Probably a different story in low percent, but we're not here for low percent.
Oh god.
As much as some people would want that to be otherwise. Low percent tournament win.
Only for the most insane. Yeah, everything went good. I got the room after after Clone Angel. Like I've actually learned the strat where you hit the one lady like sit there on the pedestal.
Yeah. That's a good minor optimization to pick up.
I saw it. I watched like the world record run or a really good run a while back, and I noticed that I'm like, I need to learn that. And
Yeah.
after trying it a few times, it's actually pretty easy. Just as long as you don't bonk your head on the platform, which I had done before when I started learning it. I got that down.
Yeah, that's how the process of learning goes. It's the more pitfalls you run, the more pitfalls about the strat you run into during practice, the better your execution will be once you get to put it into your runs. So like practice is not just, and this is a thing that I find is a bit overlooked, is that practicing a strat or a run is not just about doing it right, but also becoming aware of any pitfalls and consequences of doing things incorrectly that can pop up. Because like if you're not ready for it, then it's still not practical to put into your runs.
I'm sure you also gotta be ready for the RNG that Lupar will give you, which I think I did in my my race against you. She did double roll, and I literally had to just, because you always gotta watch out for her rolls, because she can just do it randomly, and she rolls into you. That's a hit.
Yeah, anytime she's not stunned, she can do it, and there are moments while the Bachman patch is raining down that she isn't stunned and can therefore roll out of it.
Yep.
I've been hit by that before, where I only get half of the first one in, because she rolls out of it, and then the second one misses completely. That was not fun.
Yep. That's usually where
That was not fun to
sometimes-
try and salvage.
And then sometimes you have to work. 'Cause you can't just camp her with arrows. You gotta actually get it
Yeah.
close to. So like I had to like bait her to like actually attack, and then of course because I took too much
Yeah,
time.
the attacks Lupia does are the most fortunate because you even with your melee attack, you outrange her. Your melee attack has better range than her melee attack does.
You just gotta be careful of the roll because she can just like do it whenever.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, if you run into it, a safe strat you can do is take it safe and slow and only hit her once.
That's what
Because
it.
when she's vulnerable to melee attacks, the first melee attack you do will always stun her. So you can just do one stun, wait for her to recover. Yeah, wait for her to do a roll, then go in, hit her once again. Because even if she does a double roll, you can hit her after the first if you're quick enough.
I learned my lesson from the first tournament match I did. I actually made sure I hit the bell. At least on the first race. I don't think I did on the second one because like habit. Like the very first bell in the game. Because I died when me and you raced, when we both failed. We both like did like the same thing in game in our very first game where we like I think we like both died in the forest. I made sure I hit the bell because like
Oh yeah, that is possible.
I made sure I hit like every bell, like the bell after Frida I hit. Any place I know that I could potentially die, because like on the way after you get the after Frida,
Yeah, that's also what doing races like in a tournament setting like this also teaches you about the game is that don't give the game an inch because it will take a mile.
especially when you're playing a game that can insta kill you if you make one little mistake.
Yeah, exactly. When you, remember both buttons on the same frame. If you don't do it, if you accidentally hit the roller, you roll. Sometimes into a pit of spikes and dying. Didn't mention this during the actual match, but yeah, spikes kill you instantly. The only way to not die from spikes is by falling into them while you have invincibility frames from getting hit elsewhere.
That actually
It doesn't matter how much health you have, even on easy difficulty, spikes kill you in one hit. Even on easy with like maximum bellflowers. That's for you casual players out there. If you're struggling with this casually, go look for bellflowers. They give you health and vitality fragments.
They're like Estus Plus from Dark Souls, pretty much. Because we don't healing doesn't really help in the run.
No, in the speed run we're going fast, so we don't have time for healing.
Like even as a backup strat is like if you get hit at all. I think as if you get hit at all in the fight, you don't even get the thing. Even if you were to heal,
Yeah, exactly. It would only be useful for in between sections. If you're struggling with them on your very first runs, like if you're just learning this run and doing your very first runs of it, it's fine to pick up bellflowers as a self-invented safety strat. That's fine.
Only thing it does, it just messes with the menuing.
Yeah, but you just have it as a safety strat, then you keep running the game, you get better at it, and then you don't need the bellflowers anymore.
That's true that the bellflowers don't help you get the item from the bosses, right?
No, because it's taking damage at all.
Okay.
It's like a health change, so if you heal,
yeah,
like
it's not in every version of the game, but in most versions of the game, yeah, the disqualification from damageless boss item actually happens when the game detects a health change. So if you go in with partial health, don't take any damage, but you've healed once, you still don't get it.
Wow.
But it's not in all versions. It might be in 1.07 that it doesn't look at health gains, only losses. But I think
107 still does, because I'm pretty sure on easy you can't, like, you don't want to have the healing item on because you can lose an item because of it. I think.
All right. Yeah, though. Not sure about that, but yeah, in most versions, if not all, it's about your health changing during the fight. Specifically when there's a health bar. I'm getting in chat. It's from 1.06 onwards. So yeah, in 1.05b, So what do you mean exactly, Seb? That from 1.06 onward, that it's based on health change? Anyway, Ronwin,
Yes.
we've heard Azula plenty. So how do you feel? How do you look back on your match here?
Lupia. Yeah.
Lupia,
Yeah.
enough said.
I mean, in the
I
first
got-
race, like in the second attempt, I did it right, but she didn't die to the thread, and then she hit me, and then I felt bad because
Yeah, just
wasn't me.
Lupia doing Lupia things.
yeah, she survived for some reason.
Also, yeah, I'm getting confirmation that before 1.06, it's any health change, both positive and negative, that disqualifies you. After 1.06, from 1.06 onwards, so 1.06 and 1.07, then it's only if you lose health. So in 1.07, you can use Bellflowers and still get the damageless item. But if you're not taking damage, there's no reason to heal, so that's kind of a fallacy. If you're doing it for the boss item, it's a fallacy. That's why at certain times you may have seen runners go into in either this tournament match or in other tournament matches if you've caught those. You may have seen runners be perfectly happy with going into a boss at like 10% health, because if I get hit, I would have to reset anyway. So there's no point in healing or.
The only one
like if you get hit by that enemy right before Arsonist, you hit the save bell, so you're at full health. It does that attack from that one enemy before Arsonist. It doesn't kill you at full health, so it's like whatever. Oh no, I got hit. Now I have less health that I. Oh no, I still have no health. I still have the same amount of health I'm allowed to lose. 0.
But Bella 2 is the only one that's you probably want to be at full health.
Yeah, but again, there's a save point right before that, which you always take. Like even in PB attempts, you take it because of the item replenish exploit.
Right.
Again, even for Lupella 2, you won't be in a situation where healing is necessary, because the save point will do it for you. And there's nothing from the save point to Lubella either. There's no enemies in between.
No, it's like a screen, empty.
Alright, well, we have been talking for a little bit. Is there any closing remarks we want to do? Don't want to keep people forever.
Yeah, no, we've taken up plenty time here. You know, we had space for a game 3, but that doesn't mean we have to take it. Don't have to fill this pot with talking.
I should have lost. We should be on a game 3 right now because I don't know how I was able to scavenge.
How could you? You forgot to throw for content.
That was last time. I threw on the second game.
And so did I.
Would not recommend throwing for content when you're already behind. But hey, we will be moving on. GG to both of you for putting on a good show, and congratulations to Azul for moving on, for still being here. You're welcome.
Yeah. Thanks for throwing in that third game. And I believe I have Sub next, whenever that'll be.
Yeah, you will be moving on in.
Yes, I look forward to playing against the 2 seed. That'll be fun.
Yeah, in what I like to call the last chance saloon, the lower bracket of this double elimination tournament, or as some others have coined the term bracket of alternate success, and you have most certainly had alternate success.
And also, I didn't start the tournament. I was just a replacement pretty much. So
yeah, we did talk about that during the match as well. Is the history of how a certain person got you into the tournament.
Yeah, I asked about. I think I just mentioned about it because I was like, oh, I wish I could be in the tournament, and then someone didn't want to play anymore, so I took their spot.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, that's cool. Let him play against me, and now look where you are.
You read that?
Yeah,
You're
it's still the nerves. Like this game is just like it just screw you over so easily. It's just the nerves of like just something your run just going bad because
you're into top 4. Like you're in the.
Nice.
Wait, is it top 4? 1, 2.
I think it's
I mean,
fifth.
yeah, losers finals.
Wait, Dream, Googler.
It's
I
third,
think
right?
it's top
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, it's
technically.
top 6.
five.
My
It's-
bad.
It should be
Nice.
fifth.
Or
should be
fifth.
fifth.
It's top. It's
Yeah.
top. It's the top 6. Because we've got Dream Fox into the winner finals. Then in the lower bracket finals, there's Googler waiting for whoever's gonna come out of that. And then we've got we've got four more players in the lower bracket. We've got Matos, my fellow commentator, who I will thank for joining me on this and relieving me of having to do this by myself.
I'm glad I could join.
Yeah, Matos going up against Niaki. And then, yeah, Seb, as we mentioned before, Seb versus...
Here we go. Yeah, so
Seb says that Seb says don't know how to play Momo, so you're fine. You're gonna win.
yeah, all right.
You've got this.
2C is free. Like why aren't they?
Second seed is
I was
free,
like,
yeah.
I was like, why aren't they in winners finals or losers finals? should have lost him.
Dream Fox beat Seb in upper bracket, so you can do it too.
Yep.
It can
you
be done.
can do it. we believe.
Alright, we've done
Free.
enough.
Free.
We've done enough.
Got it. Free. I was
Alright,
just
that's plenty of memes for a closing statement, I think. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed, especially the end bit here. We'll be signing off. Stick around. Tournaments continuing. We've mentioned the matches that are coming up. So yeah, Epic Momo Gaming.
yay.
Remember. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.